Hello, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Fox, here on the show is Bridgeman, and the one and only, yes, the one and only GB. How we doing, gentlemen?
Good evening, Ox. Happy New Year, buddy, and Happy New Year, Bridgeman.
Happy New Year, brother. Happy New Year. That was remiss of me earlier on.
Can I just say a big good year to you guys and the techie team at the background? So hope you had a good time. Can I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, in particular Rangers fan on here on Rangers Radio, every single one is we saw it, and we know we were better than them, and the result went against us, in my opinion. Everybody, good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio.
How are you, GB?
Very well, mate. I'm a lot better after the Rangers' performance yesterday, mate. I'm really surprised how we came at the traps yesterday, how we responded in the game, Ox, and feeling a wee bit more positive now going forward with Michael Beale, because like I said to you a couple of weeks ago, it wasn't my first choice, mate, but he's shown me yesterday that there's a team there that he can build on, mate.
So you're getting on the Michael Beale Express, are you?
Slowly, mate. I've bought my ticket. Definitely bought my ticket. No, I mean, he did impress me, Ox, night and day for that 4-0 hammering that we took against Celtic. The whole structure of the team, people seemed to know what they were doing in the game, and we showed character in the game to kind of dominate a so-called amazing Celtic squad.
Okay, amazing, huh? Aye. And that depends what you read and where you read. And we're no buying their rubbish, Bridgeman, are we? We know what they've done. They've got policemen in place. They spout stuff, negative stuff about us, positive stuff about them. They've not won a big game this season when it counts. One against us at Parkhead. The record in Europe, I don't think they've won a knockout tie. I think somebody said for 2003. Look at their record against the European teams. Yeah, they've done what we've no done, because everybody's up to play against us. And then they couldn't win yesterday. So they're there for the taking. As far as I'm concerned, it's 3 points, Bridgeman, because we'll beat them the next twice. That's my motto.
No, I think 100% agree with you. My thoughts were that once again, and I've been saying it for God knows how long, we shouldn't be giving balls away unnecessarily, irrespective of where it is. We just let them come in, take the ball off. It's things like that. It's just not good enough for that perspective.
Individual errors.
And none worse than Alfredo's. And I thought it's all impacted by Tavernier's failure to actually get
Alfredo was bad. Alfredo's was bad, but Tavernier's was worse, mate.
Well, I'm considering who he is, and he's a defender, and he tried to put the ball back to Goldson. And in other words, Goldson was missing it because the boy was flying. So, sheer bad mistakes, football-wise, by our players. And it was the same in their second goal.
All right. Let's right up. We'll just wrap the show up now if you just want to run through that. Right, one thing at a time, yeah. I know you're excited because GB's on and he's your favourite. Right, okay, so we started the game okay, GB, yeah, and we started in the front foot, and then it was individual errors, right? And we're going to debate this, aren't we?
Well, I think we are, mate. I think we are.
You're in one camp. Well, you're camp, and I'm no. Right.
I'm camp new.
And I'm big jock now, right? Right. So there's the crossfield pass that Bridges rightly pointed out for Morelos, blind pass. No, something I think you should be doing. I've criticised particularly Glenn Kamara, who had that fall in his game. Alfie made a mistake, but the balls went to James Tavernier. Over to you, GB.
Balls went to James Tavernier at pace, Oxy. It was rampant going to Maeda, and Tav had a split-second decision to make. He kind of half-hearted touched it when he should have just blasted it into Rose's head, you mean? But the blame does go because he catches... I mean, Tav's sitting there, we've got the possession, and the next minute, it ricochets after Lundstrom into Morelos, and Morelos instantly just fires it, like you say, as a blind pass straight to Tav, mate.
But Morelos makes the initial mistake, and Tavernier makes a Roger of it, in my opinion, total. another error for Tav in a defensive situation. It's led to a goal. An unfit Tav. Tav who's not played well for us this season, who is trying to play captain courageous, but he's obviously voided a wee bit of confidence, which we've seen when his second half performance against Motherwell. I still think he's carrying a knock, personally, and trying to play through it. He made a Roger for it for me. So I'm saying Morelos made the initial error. He shouldn't have made the pass. Tav's got to be ready, like he should be all the time on the football part. Tav caused the goal because he ended up passing it through to the defender, and should have he should put it, just played the pass back to the goalkeeper. He's 30 yards for the goal. He's got to it first. He just wasn't committed. He was slow. He wasn't ready. He wasn't on his toes. Everything was wrong about it. Right, I'm saying one thing. You're saying another. Bridgman can decide if that's all right with you, GB.
Aye, that's it. Pass it to the defender.
You want to come back before Bridgman comes back?
I just think, like I says, mate, like, I understand Tav should be aware at all times, you know what I mean? But it was a silly ball out in anywhere, and I don't think Tav was probably looking forward, thinking, right, it's got to go to Morelos. Morelos has got to turn and pass, and I'm going to move up the field. I don't think he expected Morelos just to fire a ball at him like 100 miles an hour.
You wouldn't, but you've got to be ready at all times.
Maybe because of the injury, Ox, can we give him a bit of slack there? Maybe because he's not turning and he's not clearing it.
No slack.
Oh, mate, I don't know. It's harsh.
No slack, mate. He made a Roger there. Right, I'm going back on the bench. I'll let Mr. Bridge come in unless you've got anything else you want to add.
No. I've made my point.
If he'd have done that for my under 15s, 14s, 13s, 12s, I'd have walked on the park and dragged them off. Bridgman, over to you.
I have to say that I agree that there's a terrible ball by Morelos in the first place, straight to the Celtic player. He didn't even do anything, and he allowed himself 3 or 4 yards to get some pace up. And Tav, I'm afraid, just didn't do anything. It just looked as if he tried to get the ball, and it looked as if he was trying to pass it back to Golson. I don't know if it was or not, but that's what it looked like. And if he could contact the ball, I agree with what Oxford said. It should have been straight back to the goalkeeper out of the way, or even thump it. It doesn't matter where it goes. Thump it all the way up to Copeland if you want to, but don't let them take it off you. And the guy was running. He was running full tilt this time. So he gets the ball, picks it up, and away he goes, and he waltzes through. And the goalkeeper's got virtually no chance other than a really wonderful save. I think Oxford is absolutely 100% correct. All started, obviously made a mistake there by Morelos, but I think unforgivable stuff by Tavernier. Seriously, unforgivable stuff. That's my set. That's what I think.
DB, I'm a fair man. I'll give you the right to reply.
All I would say is, Ox, that Maeda got to the ball with Morelos' pass. It wasn't as if Morelos passed it and Tav was there thinking, right, I'll just break up the play. Maeda got the ball and then hit his pass forward, which probably done Tav out of, like, thinking, oh, I'll be able to catch it. I mean, that's that. The Celtic player did get to the ball well before Tav was even in position. You know what I mean? So I just think that it was just a bad pass, and most of the blame has to go on Morelos. If Tav, the only thing I would agree with you in is Tav should have just took Maeda out of the game and took a card for it.
Right.
But he didn't.
When he touches it, their player, his touch is poor. It goes about 3 yards fair, and Tav does nothing, mate. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Yeah. Morelos has made a mistake, and Tav's, when the guys touched it in the middle of the park, 30 yards running through for our goal, his job is a defender, and he's not done his job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can dress it up all you like. Morelos has made a bad pass. Their boys had a bad touch, and then Tav's made a Roger here. It's caused the goal.
I agree to disagree, bud. I just
watch
think
it. Go and watch it. I've just put it on and watched it.
Same here. I put it on just to make sure that it was Alfredo put it a straight pass to Maeda. I mean,
he does, and he touches it and he puts it 3 yards away from him. And Tav's got no other time in the world, but he's got time to his body shape to turn and pass it. And
I make sure.
And he's done nothing. GB. It's a schoolboy mistake. Bridgman.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. It's definitely a schoolboyish mistake. We don't want to rattle the guy too much because he eventually played not too bad for us. He scored a fabulous penalty. But it was I think with two players, to me, it was just unforgivable. I think he got his foot to the ball and tried to pass it back to Goldson, and the guy just jumped in. He was still running.
He tried to be too clever. He tried to play it back to Goldson when they wait so that Goldson could clear it. Yeah. And he didn't, first and foremost, in that situation, the first mistake was that he tried to play too much football. He's there, 35 yards for goal. We're exposed because of where it is. And we made a mistake. He made a rip-roaring Roger 8 GB.
I dig it was a half-hearted wee touch. I mean, he should have just took him out the... He should have just took, like I say, took the care talks. I just think it's an instant reaction he's got to have. He's got to... Like I say, Alfredo's just... The team were kind of... For what I've seen, it was just the team were on position, ready to move forward. And he plays that ball, and Tavernier's left in a wee bit in no man's land. That's where I sympathise with him, because he's...
No, GB. The ball came. Their guys got it. He's made a bad touch. The ball went to Tavernier. And then he's got this chance to make the pass. He can kick it back where it's came from towards Morelos. He can kick it back to Alan McGregor. He can take it away to the right. Yeah.
But 4 minutes in, mate. 4 minutes in, he's not expecting Alfie to do something crazy like that.
All right, so you're not allowed to score a goal in the first 4 minutes?
No, yeah, but I just think, like I say, our mindset was in control of that game straight away, and I just think it's...
No, not getting yet. He made Roger it.
Referee's whistle. On with the game. On with the show.
On with the show. Anyway, we'll put it out there. We'll put it out, and we'll put it out. And we'll make it simple, yeah? And Bridgeman will go along with us. Guilty or not guilty? How does that grab you, Bridge?
Yes, I'll go for that.
Not guilty.
He's guilty if you're talking about Tavernier.
I'm saying he's guilty as well. Yeah. By the way, Morelos is complicit in the crime, Bridgeman, yeah?
Of course, 100%. 100%.
Yeah. You know what I mean? But, right, so we lose a bad goal. We agree on that?
Yes, 100%, mate. And then, like I say, very early doors, the kind of, for me, the alarm bells kind of started ringing, because you're like, here we go. They're 1-0 up when it's only 5 minutes in. I mean, but we stuck to the game plan, Ox, didn't we? We Golson and Ben Davis at the back there just kept calm, kept the passing moving. That midfield, really enjoyed how Tillman had a much better game in the centre of that midfield than he did out in that right wing, if you remember right, Ox. I mean, I think the boy will grow in there, and it's just sometimes gets getting caught with the ball too much. He's just folk were on top of him a couple of times and stuff like that. But
sometimes tries too much.
Yep.
Bridgeman, we lost the goal, and let's be honest, they were in tap without doing a lot, and obviously there was one, I think somebody cut it back and avoid a fresh air. That was their only real chance to make it, to get an our goal. Then slowly but surely we came back into the game. The incident when Morelos closed down Hart, and then the ball went back to Kent. Kent never quite caught it right, Bridge. The goalie made a good save and it hit the post, you know.
Well, he managed to palm onto the post. I thought it was a fantastic try by Kent on the carpet, you know. Lovely pass. So you used to see we sort of midfielders, halfbacks. He used to go in there and make lovely passes. Maybe you learned. Did you learn any of the passes when you were playing?
That one at Kent hit the post. I would have pirouetted and backheeled that in.
Well said, Phil. But no, I thought that was a wonderful
edge of the box. That was backheelers, mate.
But, the thing is that their goalkeeper was unsighted, and he managed to get a good hand to it and push it onto the post. That was a good save.
Aye, they got a bit of luck. It was a good save, but then we took control, GB, and we were huffing and puffing, and then it was 2 big minutes. Morelos again, 2 headers. I said my bit yesterday, so I think he's going to hit the target, and at least with one of them, maybe be the two of them, he's going to hit the target. If the goalie then saves it, well, he's done his job. the centre forward hitting the target. But if you don't hit the target, GP, you're never going to score.
No, he was unchallenged. It was a fantastic cross by a certain James Tavernier, Rocks. And,
I'm not talking about. I'm not talking. I was only talking about in the 5th minute, mate.
No, I know, mate. I know. I'm only bantering, mate. I'm only bantering. That's his Tav fires on that cross, and Alfie's no even challenged for it. He just had to header it down the way, and it would have bounced up into that top corner for him. But again, it's easy saying, like you said, Docs, he's carrying Alfie's been carrying an injury. I think it's the hamstring. So sometimes the position he's trying to jump with that. I mean,
he's got to both of them. He's made the room. He's used his physique. He's got the first one was harder than the second one, Bridge. I think, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. But I thought the second one, I thought he'd done really, really well to be in that position, and he can see the ball coming. And unfortunately, for some reason or other, he's mistimed his header because he got the ball, full on. That's where he was trying to head it to, and it was just misdirected. There's nothing wrong other than his direction of heading, and I think the first one he got it was at the top of the head at him and over the bar. So I have to say the second one, he should have done better with the second one, but that's what he wanted to do, and it was completely mistimed.
Sums up our season, Oxa. Just no clinical. I think, say if he fires 2 goals away, I mean, that's us 2-1 going into that half time, and we're well in the ascendancy in that game.
Aye. But you don't know if you get the second one, if you get the first one, and vice versa. It changes the game. But hypothetically, you've got to take the chances. So we come out in the second half, and we started the game tremendous. We played at a better tempo. We're closing them down, and I thought John Lundstrom had thrown into the match, Bridgeman.
I agree with you. I'm a big fan of John Lundstrom, to be honest. But there's some parts about his game, and I think some of the Celtic players have got their heads together and says, "Let's go and rile him up," because he doesn't like getting hit, he didn't like getting kicked, and that kind of thing. So they were needling him the whole game. It's the same as the last time we played them. He was needling them, and because they're looking for him to erupt like he's the new Alfie. He'll get sent off, kind of thing, But no, it didn't happen. And I thought Lundstrom had a fine game, really do, fine game. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah,
so we gets a goal, a kick up the park. McGregor closes his lines, kicks it up the park. Fashion Sakala gets it 10 yards in their half, gets it, breaks, he starts running at our 2 big central defenders, plays a good ball to Kent. Kent comes in, GB, and does what we think he should be doing more often. And what a finish!
You'd be standing up and applauding that if it was in the Madrid or Barcelona, the way he finished that ball. And by the way, Fashion done amazing as well in the build up to that. He got his head up and made the perfect pass for Kent, and he buried it, Ox, and it was a fantastic finish. And that, like you say, that's the boy we want to see week in, week out. Hard to produce that kind of finish week in, week out, but I mean, just creating the kind of chances and at least putting them on target. We'll always have a chance there to score a goal, and it's that bit of play. As soon as we came out, it was good to see that we didn't dip half of the tail end of the first half going into the second. We were right at it, and Sakala came alive, Kent came alive, and it was a good period.
Morelos get involved.
Aye, mate, aye. Again, like I says, I'm not his biggest fan, but Morelos didn't have after his slack pass, he didn't really have a bad game for me, to be honest, mate. He done his job. He hassled and stuff like that. But back to Kent, I mean, that's the boy that we want, and that's the boy that we would re-sign, Ox. We would re-sign that player if he wanted to stay, that is.
But he showed that he's got in his locker. So we get the equaliser, Bridgeman, and then the ball goes to Sakala, and there's a penalty kick, and we get a penalty kick. Obviously, VAR looked at it. I would say I was looking for it. Yeah, It was a rash tackle by the boy who gave the referee a decision to make, who surprisingly gave it for his, Bridge.
Yeah, that's a good word you put in there, surprisingly. Cheating beating was at his greatest yesterday. He was at his best, seriously. However, he did surprisingly give us a penalty. I don't know what the refereeing rules are, but it looked as if he'd taken Sakala's leg away. And I don't know who's contacted whom first.
He caught him, mate. He caught him and just take it away. It's let's be honest, it's not the most stonewall penalty, but I was looking for it and we got it, so you take it and you move on, yeah?
Absolutely.
It's a penalty, I would say, 8 times out of 10, if that's fair, yeah? The guy's been rash and slid in, you know, and then we'll go to penalty because he's caught his leg, yeah? Penalty kick. Tavernier steps up, GB, I'll leave it to you.
And puts in the top left-hand corner, Ox. I think my heart was a wee bit in my mouth when he hit it right enough. I thought it was maybe going to go there, but he placed it perfectly. I think Joe Hart was trying to do the same as that World Cup Argentinian keeper, purely the hands waving up and down and jumping across the line and everything before the ball was kicked. But again, big cojones stepping up and putting that ball away to put us back in the lead. And I honestly did think at that point, Ox, the way we were playing, that we would just totally dominate the game and get the third.
Yeah, we should have done. That was the next goal. Was the catalyst. We played well. I don't know what you think, GB, but when Lundstrom got injured, as much as I like Ryan Jack, I think we lost a bit.
Aye, Ox. It was. I don't know. It was. The challenge, I can't remember what play it was. It was a challenge that he went in for, and the player kind of elbowed him in the ribs. And then when he seen, I heard Joe mention that when he lifted up the tap, you could see there was like a plaster already on that. So that's obviously been niggled, and that obviously forced him to go off. But I think Lundstrom yesterday was a total powerhouse. He didn't bite to all the harsh tackles and stuff like that was getting put on him. And really, you're thinking Jack on, Lundstrom off, and just keep it like for like. Just keep the.
I think it's only my opinion, GB, but I think when Jack was coming on, I think he was coming on for Tillman.
Oh, right.
Like to me, and then obviously when Lundstrom got hurt, we had to make like for like, and then we changed it because we'll come to the substitutions. But that was a big moment in the game for me. But even then, we were still the dominant team, and we had opportunities to, to create stuff, and we just failed, but we had some good playing. Bridgeman, what about the one with Sakala goes away for the world's greatest fullback and he pulls his jersey and the linesman misses it?
By the way, I thought there was a whole load of that type of foul going on, the nudging. And one of the ones, what's that guy, big centre half came in and he smashed into Sakala. Was it Sakala? No, right, somebody like that anyway. He smashed him, put him in the park. And I thought, goodness sake, that referee gave nothing. And that's why I was meaning about cheating beating was doing his utmost not to give a decision either way, not to give his best to do that, as far as he's concerned, best to do that. But no, it just utter nonsense. The referees, I think they all depend on VAR get shouting in their ear. That was a foul. That's what I think they're blatantly doing. They hardly ever give a decision on their own merit, in my opinion. And that's it. And he has been cheating for the last number of years, particularly with Rangers, giving the proper decisions. And then there were a couple of incidents where they took a Rangers player out, but they played on for what do you call it? You've got possession, carry on, play on. But wait a minute, after the game stops, he should be going back and booking the guy. A number of times that happened yesterday and still never done it. I'm mystified by it to a certain extent, but I'm not surprised. But, it's just wrong. It's just wrong.
Okay, well, we know we should have got a third goal. I mean, we know we should have carried on. And obviously, they'd claimed for a penalty, which could have been gained. But obviously, VAR will overrule it because it's got to be a clear and obvious decision for the mistake for the referee. It did hit Golson's hands. We can't deny that. But what he was doing with his hands, I don't know if he went to play the ball on it. He'll know. And then it wasn't given. So we then lose the second goal, GB. Now, for me, Tav looked to run his race, and we'll get young boy Devine on the bench, we'll get Leon King. Tav's no superhuman, mate, and he was no fit. And then when you watch when the ball goes to Jota and he cuts inside him, between him and James Sands, before the ball goes into the park, where Ryan Jack hesitates and never puts it out. If you watch that, their efforts at defending, Tav, because he's run his race, and we'll still get two subs sitting on the bench, by the way, to make the boy just cuts inside him as if he's no there. Make the foul, take him out, take the booting, stop the game, organise. Yeah, we never. And then he comes inside to Sands. Sands stands and does nothing instead of going out towards him. Yeah, the boy then breaks to Loy, who when I looked at it, I thought he could have maybe been offside, but in the far side, there's definitely Barisic playing him on, but I don't think he was. He goes down to the byline. Ryan Jack hesitates when he's got a chance to clear it, and then it's the rest of it becomes just luck. GB.
I'm going to back you here, Ox. So that says it wasn't until I actually watched the game back. I mean, when you're watching it live and you're just in the moment, I'm screaming at Ryan Jack. Why are you not clearing it? Just boot it away, get it out of that box. But when you do watch it back, it comes for Tav again, unfortunately.
It starts for him. It's no Tav. The fact that the guy books him, just take him out.
Aye, I know.
That's what they would do that time of the game.
Just break up the play, you mean?
Aye.
But
if he's knackered, if he's done, he's injured. We've got to use our substitutes. James Tavernier ain't Messi. He's been a great player for us. But if he's no fit, and at the times he becomes a passenger, and that's what happened in the last 15 minutes yesterday. Because obviously he's carrying. It's a hard game, and then he gets a clatter on the nose to compound it, Bridge. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. I thought the clatter on the nose was a booking, but it never happened. I'm afraid that they never even got a free kick. Right. So as far as I'm concerned, I thought Tavernier had earned his race, carrying a wee bit of the injury he's been carrying, and getting that as well. Yeah, just like you said, the mount up, and for the last maybe 10, 15 minutes of the game, it looked as if he was, I would say, out of place at times, particularly defensively, and as it proved. There was 5, maybe even 6 Rangers players there. Any one of them could have cleared that ball if came anywhere near them. If he would put it over a corner, just back it out of the way, rose it if you could. No, somehow or other it squirms its way through and knocks against a back. I think a Healy, a Celtic player, and goes out to wee Kyoga guy, and he's standing on his own, down to its purposes. And when it started, I thought, when you said about Barisic, you thought initially Barisic had played him onside. I think Barisic did play him onside.
No, when I watched it, his run was pretty good, mate, and Barisic didn't, but I initially thought that, yeah. But
I thought Barisic had moved, he dropped 3 yards, and then they sort of caught up with Barisic. That's what I thought.
No,
but the guy,
also, when I watched it back again, I'm also disappointed in James Sands' effort, mate. I never really picked that up at the time.
That boy was dreadful yesterday, dreadful.
I didn't pick it up at the time. But listen, I think we'll get these phone lines opened, yeah?
Go for it.
Yeah, listen, if you want to come and join us, phone in. We will contact you back. The number is 0141 356 1972. Let's hear from you. Right.
Why don't you give us a call?
Okay, we was disappointed in the result, but no disappointed in the character that we showed that we questioned. GB.
No, again, the draw did feel a wee bit of a defeat, considering how long we dominated that game yesterday. The performance definitely gave me room for optimism in the squad. I don't think, as much as when Gio was there, everybody was saying we had to get rid of the full squad. I think Beale's shown that there's a team to build on in there. I do also think it gave Beale answers that he was needing yesterday, and the fact that he knows who he wants to probably keep, and he knows who is just not going to be coming with him in the journey, and they hurt some of the players, but they just aren't good enough. When you sometimes see the players coming off their bench and the quality, and then we see who came on for us yesterday, they just didn't make any impact in the game for us, Ox.
Is that because obviously we've got injuries to Hadji, Cholak, Roof, Tom Lawrence, Ridvan?
Yep, mate. Once that's what I'm saying. Once even our manager said that as soon as we get the players back into that squad, it's not about the challenging for the titles. It's about challenging for your shirt. I mean, in house. You mean, so it's going to be. There's got to be room for competition. Guys will not just got to be getting turned up and getting a shot, really. I mean, because I think that's what's been happening. I think Beale's even seen that he's had to just use guys probably when he doesn't really want to. But to be fair to every player that went out there yesterday, apart from a couple, they definitely raised a few eyebrows in the way they performed. And sadly, it's a shame that they didn't keep performing like that all season.
Aye. Bridgman, the character, obviously when we get 2-1 in front of me, we played well up to the last few minutes, if we're being honest. We were the better team, and then we some bad errors, some bad defending, but you can say that about a lot of goals that teams lose, but obviously we only care about the goals we lose.
I think that we were in the lead, and but I think it was even before the show, because Sands came on. We were still in the lead when Sands came on, weren't we?
Well, I hope so, because he danced out the way for the
that's correct. Now, all I'm meaning is that he had a good chance for a shot, and he bottled out of it.
Well, he not only never took the shot, he never made the pass.
Rubbish. And I thought that could cause another goal here. But I thought just before
Ryan Jack get booked.
Just before that, but Kamara was on the edge of the box, bought his feet, and he didn't take a shot. And I'm wondering, that's two midfielders who won't have a shot at goal, and I don't know why. And our manager got to get that sorted out. They must take the shots at goal, no matter what happens. They've got to shoot.
All right, I think Fox has got some music. He's not going to speak, but he's got some music for you, GB.
Guilty.
I'll just walk away then now. Walked into the docks. He's there.
That's James Tavernier's biggest fan, mate. I think you've played it.
If it's coming from Fox, right, it's Tav's fault. He half-arsed it.
Hull Bridges broke out in a cold sweat.
That's a frustrating thing, Ox, isn't it? That yesterday it was silly mistakes, and we just need to get this out of our team, because as soon as we do, we are going to dominate these fixtures again, Ox. I mean, that yesterday was just. I mean, even when you heard their press conferences, I mean, they were all out of sorts as well when they were trying to talk in the press. I mean, it just showed you how when we get organised and we get a bit of quality back into that team and we get people on form, I don't think we've got much to worry about. But we've dropped to. Oh, you'll help me out here. When we won the league and stuff like that, we definitely we dropped the ball. You mean, it's that kind of way that we should have just progressed for there, and to allow this kind of team to that mob across the city to progress the way they have is criminal, especially with that game yesterday.
Yeah, but look, there's obviously factors involved. I mean, we dropped some silly points last year and last season. The run in for January onwards, drawn to Ross County, drawn away at Aberdeen. They were big games because the momentum then swung in their favour. If we won them, you don't know what would have happened, and then we weren't great against certain teams, and we struggled a lot, dropped silly points, lost to them twice, home and away. If you win the two games, Ross County and Aberdeen, and draw with them at Ibrox, would have won the league. So you've got to beat everybody. It's important you beat everybody. because people argue when you look at the league table that the gap in Scottish football is getting bigger and bigger, Bridgeman, because the other teams are, for Rangers done, they all could be relegated.
Every one of them, yeah. I think I have to say that game yesterday, I thought a lot of Rangers fans who had some doubts about Rangers' ability to take that team on, take them on. Their worries can be nursed easily there, because I thought we were absolutely tremendous. And these things that you're getting, you get the whole of the Scottish press are just totally against Rangers, no matter what happens and what matter who you're going to read. I listened to, they're all against Rangers. So whatever's happened with Celtic yesterday is completely negative for Rangers and positive for them.
Yeah, listen, we know they've got the placement in, the blame. It used to be they blame the referees, they now blame VAR before the game starts, Well,
I think when you say that, I blame the referees and I blame VAR to a certain extent, because it's the same people that were ruining their game the last number of seasons.
Still watching VAR, but VAR's only there to change clear and obvious, and things about penalty kicks or no offsides. You're either offside or you're no. Penalty kicks and fouls and all that are all subjective. Always have been. It's always been part of the game, rightly or wrongly, Bridge. Yeah, I know you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know you never made a foul in your life, mate.
Oh, just a few. Just a few. I was always angry when the referee when he gave a penalty against me. For no matter what it was, I was always angry.
I know. Listen, come and join us. Give your thoughts. It's a phone-in show. We need you to phone in. It'd be great to hear from people who haven't phoned in before. Give your thoughts on what they thought yesterday. A big game for us, and also what they think. It's only 5 games. What kind of job do you think that Michael Beale's doing? GB.
Michael Beale's he's definitely raised my expectations. He's when he first came in, again, very novice manager. I was wanting the more experienced one to come in. And to be honest, this game was on the calendar for me to see where he could take us. I'm not saying we're the finished article after yesterday. There's a lot of work still to be done in that. There's a lot of players to be moved on. Questions there, certain players' contracts and stuff like that. But in a whole, he's got his organised Ox. He's got his playing with an identity. And we controlled, like I say, probably 80 minutes of that game yesterday. And the only thing I can criticise him on, Ox, and hopefully he'll maybe learn from it, is just his substitutions yesterday. I felt he went a wee bit early with the kind of sitting in, trying to just take the win. I really think taking Tillman off, he didn't really need to do that. Tillman was always getting the ball.
He'd ran his race, mate. He'd ran his race. Tillman. The criticism about Tillman. I mean, obviously he had that shot that was getting in. It looked like into the defender, but Tillman had run his race. In my opinion, GB. In my opinion, I wouldn't criticise him for that. But the substitutions, no using your other two, I think there's a learning curve in there, mate.
The 7 minutes, Ox, that's what you see when we came up 7 minutes added time. I'm like, why are we just flying on one striker out of that, whether it's Roof or Antonio? Like, just go for it. I mean, I get he's trying to, he doesn't want the loss, if you mean, because the loss would look worse as well, you mean, but I just felt like, even putting, see when the scoreboard goes up and you put Fashion into as a central striker, I just think that killed Fashion yesterday as well, and you bring on Scott Wright. And
he'd ran his race as well, mate.
Aye,
they'd worked that hard. That listen, here's the way I seen it yesterday, and I'll let you come back in and then Bridge. Right, so it looked to me as if he was taking Tillman off when Lundstrom got injured, and Tillman was going off for Jack, and Kamara would have moved one up. I don't know what you think, Bridge. That's what it looked like. So obviously, when Lundstrom gets injured, like for like, Tillman ran his race, and he brings on Sands to give more energy in there to help support the midfield and get about the park. And he then moves Sakala forward for Wright when he takes off Morelos, who'd also ran his race. Yeah, I think the mistake they made was no using the other two substitutes to freshen up some of our players. I.e., I would have brought, when I took off Tillman, it would have been Arfield I would have brought on and told him his job was to get us forward, and when he's not got the ball, he go and close down McGregor. That was his job. Yeah. And then that stops him playing. But I just think that he told you yesterday in the press conference, if we didn't have 9 substitutes, Roof and Cholak weren't even on the bench. They were only there just in case, and with a couple of minutes to go, well, he might not have took that gamble. Bridge, I don't know what you think, but I get there's a lot of criticism coming the manager's way, and I'm being about the substitutions, not about anything else. Bridge?
Yeah, there's 2 questions I've got to ask on that. The manager's always got to, I would imagine, keep some irons in the fire for maybe a longer period of injury time. And we get 7 minutes of stoppage time, and I don't know where they got that from. I didn't see that many injuries to the first half.
Well, you had the Lundstrom injury, and you'd have done his nose busted.
Yeah, but was it 7 minutes, do you think?
And then you had
the substitutions, of course.
Yeah, you had the substitutions, yeah. So I think that was in modern football.
Okay.
Anyway,
the manager...
Talking about modern football. We've been joined by somebody who's always on the ball. How are we doing, Alex?
Happy New Year, Oxford. Happy New Year, Bridget.
Gary. I was just thinking about you last night, pal. How are you doing?
I'm good, Bridgman. Thanks very much. Thank you. It was all a good time.
Lying in bed with Mrs. Bridge, and he's thinking about you, Alex.
Nice.
Oxford, before I go into the football,
yes,
yesterday was a very emotional day for us all, involving Rangers Football Club, especially guys at my age and probably above. And to get into that game, and we took a double-decker bus into that yesterday. I was like that. I'm very emotional about the tragedy in that. I'd already been at the match, and luckily I was one of the guys that was away before anything. So my heart goes out to the 66 Rangers supporters that lost their lives.
Well said.
What I'm going to say is, being at the game, that corner at the pit they came in, and I've said it all along now, any day with tributes towards a disaster, the guys should be left outside the stadium. These times, we had a minute's silence and then we let them in. If this is how it's going to be, because it's absolutely disrespectful, and it was really, really hurtful to hear the people that can't be quiet for a minute. It's absolutely shocking. And Rangers Football Club should be doing something about it.
You're talking about support like no other, mate. Who they support, what they support, and the people they hide, and what they stand for, mate. We've nothing to apologise for. They've got their own consciences to look at, mate.
Right. I'll go into the football now. We had a golden opportunity there to win the match. If everybody's truthful went into that game and that, we thought, let's make a bit of to compete with them. And that's exactly what we've done. Apart from the 2 blaring errors, we could have come away there with a result. And that was it. I thought Rangers played really, really well, and all credit to them. We got into the game after giving away an absolute stupid goal. It was like schoolboy stuff.
Who are you blaming?
Well, honestly, when Morelos picked the ball up and he plays a cross-field pass, but I've got to say, James Tavernier should be doing a lot better than that. And that's...
Sorry, GB.
I know, I'm saying nothing.
All right. That's where I see it. But it was a crazy, what do you call it, square pass across the goal anyway. But with plenty of time, James Tavernier to even play the ball faster back to the goalkeeper, and he also just blew it up the park. But there you go. That's us 1-0, and we're chasing again then. I thought James Lundstrom struggled at the beginning, but he came on to a right good game. And the midfield began to get a hold of the game. Alfred Morelos with 2 golden opportunities as well that he missed. So be it. we're in there 1-0. Come back at the second half, and that's the Rangers we expect to see. We Sakala, they had no control of him. And the guy that plays left back, we Celtic, the World Cup guy for Croatia, Sakala had him on toast. And this is what I'm saying. The substitutions then, we get back into the game, we're winning 2-1 in that, you know. For all of me, I don't know who put Sakala in at centre forward. I thought he'd have left him out there and either brought on Sholak or else came out with. But that's another story as well.
I don't think they had half an hour in them, mate, the way he was talking after the game.
But you see them running up the touchline up there. This is you're watching them, they're in the squad and they're running up and you're saying, surely God, we've got half an hour in these guys, or they shouldn't be on, what do you call it, the bench. That's how I look at it. I might be wrong, but the two of them look fresh to me running up and down. So I just thought maybe that could have maybe have changed it. But the thing is, we've got to learn to hold the game out for the last 5 minutes. And unfortunately, the same thing happened again, another error. But I must say, the positive side, the team look a lot fitter. And they're definitely buying in what Michael Beale's trying to do.
I don't disagree with that. And you come, GB?
Well said, Alex. That's what I was hoping for yesterday. I was just hoping for a far better performance, a team on the part that you could probably believe in that going forward. I mean, the 40 a full rip out of that full team, I just couldn't see it, mate, with the amount of money it would cost to try and reinvest and stuff like that. So I'm really glad that Michael Beale's been able to come in and galvanise what's there already. I mean, and if he's able to do that with that set of players, what's he got to do when he actually gets some of his own ones in that he wants and some of the injuries back? I mean, that's us kind of playing Celtic yesterday with not really our strongest forwards, if you mean, I would say. I mean, considering Alfie's carrying an injury and stuff like that, if you've got probably that Cholak that we had at the start of the season in that game yesterday, I'm saying to Ox, I mean, a couple of the headers you could probably say might have put away for us. I mean, it's just been a bit clinical, and that's where they were lucky yesterday. They had two shots in target, and they put the two of them away, and it was because they were clinical with them. I mean, granted, one was gifted, but that's where we need to be better. We need to have our guys clinical in front of goal. But no, it's great. It's gave a lot of confidence, I think, to the Rangers fans and the Rangers support out there going forward now. And we just have to keep backing this guy. I mean, like I say, we can't get too ahead of ourselves, but like I say, we can't be too critical of the squad either. We are where we are. We're in a league that's very, very poor in finance and stuff like that. So, like I say, let's just bide our time and back the guy, and he will build something that's going to compete for us.
And the positive was the way we turned it around. Like, yeah, when we go a goal down, let's be honest, you're sitting there yesterday and you think when that goal goes in, oh, we've seen this movie before, yeah? But it never, after 25 minutes, the game changed, didn't it?
It did, drastically, and you're absolutely right. That's what I thought. You've just gifted him a chance here to go one up here, and it's back to the wall stuff. All credit to the team. And there's guys in the team that I've singled out that I probably say should be moved on in that. But I'll give credit where it's due everywhere. The team stuck by and they nearly managed to go over the line. And that was the most pleasing thing. We came out of the ground, to be quite truthful. And usually, after an Old Firm game in that, you're a bit, if you've been beat or that, you're a bit downbeat. The fans coming out, especially on the bus and that, were not too bad about it because they could see the team put a performance in. And what I will say, they're not in great shakes either. Let's be quite truthful. If a lot of the teams they played tried a bit harder, the league would probably be a bit more competitive. And it's just us that can probably, the only team that could probably beat them because the rest just lied into them. And this is what it is. But I'm quite confident now, once we get one or two signings in that, and booster the squad up, certainly, what do you call it, we're improving, and that's the most important thing. And you've got to say that's 5 games now under Michael Beale, and he's been undefeated yet, so it looks positive, Oxley and Bridgman. So I'm quite pleased now. I'd like to have won the game, to be quite truthful, but that's what it is. As I say, the only other thing was about the VAR. Right? When you're at the games, it's quite hard. The next thing that the game's getting played, then it's stopped. It's not as if it comes on the screen or anything like that to see what the infringement is of that the incident, especially if you're doing it at the other end of the ground and it's happening up the other end of the box, because everybody's debating then, what the hell was that for? And the next thing is John Bean, it comes up, a VAR check, and everybody's holding your breath. The time it takes to come back through, then we're playing on. And that was twice it happened yesterday. And it's not really... In fact, Chris Boyd, where we sat just next to where the cameras is, and that Chris Boyd was moving his hand one way or other. He didn't even know. So that's what you're relying on. The TV's got a better... I don't know if it comes through quicker to them or no, but certainly the game is delayed. And it's absolutely shocking that you're in a match and you don't even know what we're getting pulled up for.
I think the best you'll see is there's a check on something, check on a goal, check on a penalty decision, because I don't know if it's so good for the flow of the game. Bridgeman?
Look, I'm a big supporter of VAR, as long as it's getting used right, and I doubt very much, based on what we've seen for the short time it's been in, I don't think it's being used right. It's certainly in our games. I just don't think so. I think VAR should be picking up a lot more and telling the referee this has happened or that's happened. But as I said a wee bit earlier, and Alex probably heard me saying this a number of times too, it depends who's actually doing it. And I'm afraid within all the refereeing establishment for the SFA, there ain't no Rangers men in it, or Rangers-oriented men in any way, shape or form. We won't get nothing. It'll always be negative against Rangers, in my opinion. And what he was saying, young Alex was saying, or young Alex, listen to me, he's younger than me. Alex, what he was saying about the Celtic end and what was going on with the supporters there, I think it's absolutely shocking. And I think Rangers need to put the strongest objection in to say, having Celtic fans at Ibrox, they've got to be able to object as strong as possible, or even come out individually and do a complete ban on them, because that can't go on. Just can't go. However, a bit I digress. I think Alex was right about the football as well. I think the football was great. I think somewhere along the line, we showed, my opinion, particularly in that second half, we showed that we're every bit as good as, if not better, in lots of parts of the game there. And you know who's our worst enemy? Ourselves. Our own players. Mistakes they make, ineptitude in front of goal on the 18-yard line. Can he take a shot? Won't take a shot. Scared to take a shot. Call it what you like. We've got them. There must have 3 or 4 in there that can't do it. So they're waiting for to come up and have a dig, John, what's his name? Just waiting for him coming in and have a dig. So we need to do something about that. But overall, everything else Alex said I agree with, and I thought the game showed the Rangers in the best light. No way can that team, the other side of the city, say they came to Ibrox and actually got a draw. They stole a draw. They were given the 2 goals. Simple as that.
I'll be honest with you, the 3 years. Alex, I'll take this to you, mate. I'd rather had a slightly worse performance and won the match.
Absolutely. Oh no, 100%. That's it. Many times we've seen that. Probably never had a shot at goal. We won one of the games, but the problem is when we went 2-1 up and Tillman gets through, and that was the tackle of the game, that Vickers on Tillman. See if that goes in 3-1, the game's finished. Absolutely finished. And we had them. As I say, the last 5 minutes, you're trying to see the game out. Substitutions didn't really help either. I thought when Lundstrom came off, we kind of lost that a bit. And then we did call it another crazy mistake, didn't it? At the Brimlone end. But I've got to just admit that I wasn't getting into the game. If they're all being truthful about it, we were like, please try to compete here and no get what you call it humiliated. Because the way things was with Celtic and the ways with Rangers, we never really knew what kind of Rangers was going to turn up. But the guys yesterday, they've done us all good credit. And well done for the support as well, because it was absolutely magical in there when the goals goes in. There's no stadium anywhere to beat Ibrox when Rangers score a goal.
Yeah,
it was absolutely fantastic. So all credit to everybody connected to Rangers. I was just a wee bit upset with as I said before, the emotional thing and that, because it's a lot of heavy ties, and it takes you way back, and onwards and upwards, as one of the callers will say. Also, I'm going to call after and get other callers on. But thanks very much. A brilliant show, by the way. And here's hoping that's us back. And take care of yourselves, everyone. Thank you.
Cheers, Alex.
Cheers, Alex.
Cheers.
And he's right about we're in a different kind of, we're in a war with the media, and we know they've got their placement. We know that every incident that happens with your support is going to get highlighted in the media, and this is a problem we've got. So we've got to be clever as a fan base, and we've got to box clever. But I know it sounds a bit harsh, but we have to be clever as well as a fan base, Bridge. Yeah, not to give them oxygen for their fire.
Yeah, well, we've obviously got to watch what we're doing, and we have to be at best behaviour. But the incident that said that why, for instance, why was there no tifo or display yesterday? Why was that? Why was that banned by the SFA under no? I can't believe it. They watched the crap that these guys put up, anti-royalist, you call it pro-IRA stuff that they put up, huge tifos. And they say to Rangers, you can't do that. Why? I don't know if you guys know. I'm actually asking the question here. I don't know if you know.
I seen the statement that came out for the people on the Boom Room yesterday. But the day before. Right, we're going to have a tune in a few minutes, GB. Okay. But listen, people want to join us after the tune. It's 0141 356 1972. Phone in. It's your show. Have your thoughts on anything Rangers related yet? And we'll ask the question, 5 games into the Michael Beale, what's the report card? Before we go to the tune, GB.
Report card is a big tick, mate. You're undefeated so far. New managers came in, galvanised the squad, and gave us back the defence that we like to see, mate, because that's the most solid defence that I've seen since probably the 55 season. The two of them in central defence yesterday were brilliant.
5 games, we've lost 6 goals, mate, in the league.
But consistency-wise, mate, I think what it says. To be fair, the two of them have been in and out the squad since they kind of 3-2 and 3-2. I mean, so, but they had a 0-0 at 0-0. They had the Ross County game, and then obviously they had that yesterday. I suppose they've conceded 2. Aye, the World game. Aye, but
as a partnership, you're liking what you're saying, yeah?
Oh, mate, really, in cohesion. You mean the two of them are talking to each other. Both of them can pass a ball. You mean, and our keeper looks a wee bit more. As much as folk have criticised McGregor, I think he's a wee bit more comfortable now that he's got a proper defence in front of him, mate.
Couldn't judge him yesterday. Nothing today.
No, mate, no. And by the way, couldn't judge your 2 central defenders because it wasn't really them that caused the 2 goals. So, I think they had a brilliant game, like most of them. But again, if that partnership keeps blossoming, then that will certainly help us, mate.
Hope so. All right, get yourself in mute because we're going to have a tune.
From Argyle, so young, to Glasgow City, they come, seeking fortune and a new way of life. How could they know ambitions would grow? Such a beautiful story, and here's how it goes. To start a football team, they had no money, no kit, not even a ball. carried on. The Rangers were born. 55 titles, we're still going strong. So hoist up your Rangers flags, sing with your heart and voice, celebrate the greatest club in the world. Let our history show what we already know. We are the Rangers, the greatest of all. For that's had our dream, to start a football team. They had no money, no care, not even a ball. They still carried on. The Rangers are gone. 65 titles, we're still going strong. For that's had a dream, to start a football team. They had no money, no kid, not even a ball. They still carried on. The Rangers are gone. 55 titles, we're still going strong. 55 titles, we're still going strong.
Well, as we said, come and join us, 0141 356 1972. I just want to tell you a story. A well-known Rangers radio presenter for the northwest of the city. Rangers supporters yesterday stranded. Their minibus had broke down. They had to get back to catch the boat. This guy stood into the breach along with a good friend of ours and the show, and they got a minibus and drove the supporters down to Stranraer to catch their boat. TB. No heroes wear capes, mate.
Certainly don't, mate. I think they'll be walking about with a big S on them today, though.
Yes.
Especially after doing that, mate. So brilliant effort, and brilliant to see people look after each other.
Big shout out to Big Stevie, yeah.
Class, mate. Brilliant.
Yeah. But I will say that him and his big mate having a go at me last week because of my choice of drink. That was the two adults who turned up in a beer shop. One was drinking cappuccino and the other was drinking soft drinks because he was too busy eating.
No, right, aye. So there's more depth to that story, is there?
Oh, aye. You know, what do you want? Yeah.
And by the way, what's wrong with a gin and tonic? You mean?
Nothing in my book, mate. But it wasn't always my choice. But what I will say is, what do you want? Get me a cappuccino. Anyway, no names, no pack drill.
I take it that was with the sprinkles on top, mate, aye?
Chocolate gratings he asked for.
Oh, right, aye. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Needs must.
Yeah. I don't know what that is, actually, but there you go. You know. Aye, good to hear from Alex. Alex, we wish all you know. We've been joined by Smurf. Evening, Smurf. How are we doing, mate? Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year, Ox. Happy New Year, one and all.
Hi, Smurf.
Aye, how you doing? I'm a happy soldier. No, we should have taken all 3 points yesterday. We didn't, but given how things have been with injury crisis, people want away, loss of form, confidence crises, and stuff like that. You talk about Michael Beale's report card. I think it's a bit early at the moment. If we can get to the end of the season, and since he's taken over in his tenure in this season, if he reduces the deficit from 9 points to just 8 points,
then obviously that's been a successful second half to the campaign. In isolation where he's concerned. So we're certainly going in the right direction, but we've got a long road to go. But it certainly gave me a bit of a lift. It wasn't a perfect performance. There was a lot of mistakes. But all in all, he's no dropped. He's no lost a game, and so it's all positive vibes, and it's boding well. Things are look bright for the future. So we're decent recruitment and a bit of investment and getting to put his own stamp on it. I'm full of optimism. I don't know how you feel yourself or how you've seen it, but that's how I see it.
You can only mark him in the 5 games, mate. I'll accept that, and the report card will change. But at the moment, it's an A. And if they won yesterday, an A+, yeah?
Oh, of course, 100%. I mean, he's done well. It's easy to slate. You can dig out individual players. Alfie made a bad pass. He's missed a couple of sitters. But by the same token, he's been injured for a lengthy period of time. Just his makeup, he's a heavy guy. It's going to take him a wee bit longer than other people to get fit. It's just his physical stature, how he's made. And, the ring musty, it takes a bit of time to gel. I was delighted with the central defensive pairing. However, my only concern is maybe not in every game, but in certain games, with 2 ball-playing centre-halves. I know Hellander's not the answer going forward. He's too injury-prone, but he's probably the best defender at the club, and he's good in the air and stuff like that. I just wonder if we could maybe have done a wee bit more of that. But at the end of the day, I'm happy. I'm on balance, I'm happy with things so far. Seems to be turning things around.
GB.
Smurf, mate, I was actually really, really surprised yesterday how the team performed, especially going 1-0 down after that kind of 4-minute spell, because the way it went the last time after going 1-0 down, it was just a total whitewash. The heats went down, players couldn't string 2 passes together, there was no proper attack and stuff like that. Whereas yesterday, as soon as we went 1-0 down, you could see that the team calmed down again. They settled. They played the game plan that they were set up today. And like I say, so I would probably say fair about the probably 25-30 minute mark onwards. We dominated that game right up to they scored their second goal. You know what I mean? And for me, that is a vast improvement. That shows that there's messages getting across to the team. There's an understanding of what their jobs are. And Michael Beale's obviously his coaching team are doing the right jobs because he's been talking about them, taking away the defenders individually, talking to them, telling them what their job is, midfielders, attackers, etc. I mean, Sakala, he's not got to be the finished article, that boy, right? But what a game he had, considering he was nearly out the door. How that coaching team have been able to galvanise him and produce a performance like he did yesterday for us against a so-called amazing team. And by the way, an amazing right-sided defender on their side, who's supposedly gone to Barcelona, all that carry on. It just shows you how a wee bit of coaching, a wee bit of belief, and there you go. You've got a player there that actually tore them apart the second half.
I would agree with you. I mean, his pace caused them a lot of problems, and he's it doesn't matter what game you throw him into, you're going to get 100%. He's unpredictable. He's never going to be a player in the sense that, given his background, I think players now, it's very, very rare. I mean, Joe Aribo is the obvious contradiction to what I'm about to say, but most players that make it now, it's virtually impossible unless you've been through an academy to make it. And by hook or by crook, he's got here. And you see that, he doesn't really play with his head up. can't really pass a ball unless he's in the direction he's facing. But he gives you 100%. He's got pace to burn, and he doesn't hide, and he's brave. You know, his finishing is no great, whatever, but he did cause a bit of chaos, and he set up. He's got an assist, and you know he won as the penalty. So ultimately, you can only have plaudits for the wee guy. And there's maybe, in terms of attitude, there's far bigger offenders at Ibrox than him. You know, his attitude's first class. So absolutely, I totally agree. I thought he had a blinding game. Aye, he did well, and just I think going forward, I just hope we get a bit of investment and see where it takes us. I'm optimistic. I think, you know, there's a glass ceiling in football, and it's not just our glass ceiling; it's theirs as well. So very, very quickly, things will be levelled up, and you know, hopefully, come this summer at least, anyway, we get numbers in. And I'm not really worried about who's leaving. If you don't want to be there, get rid of them. The biggest club any of them will ever play for. Any of them. There's only 2 players that I, in my memory, ever left Rangers and went on to bigger things, and that's ironically Van Bronckhorst and Gattuso, arguably Gattuso. Beyond that, I can't think of another player. So good luck to them. We can get your payday and off you trot, because there'll be players of at least as good, only too happy to come in and play for a club the stature of Rangers.
Yeah, the manager touched on that yesterday, and I think he's spot on, mate. Yeah, you know, Bridgman, you about to come in, mate?
Yeah, it's nice sitting listening, and I listened with intent there. What he was saying there. So, you know, I think our manager, what you said there just a minute ago, our manager, and I know, and I listened to some of it, and he hinted that there's changes going on. Changes afoot, and there will be the work will be starting on that in the very near future. I don't know what the work is, and I don't know who it is going to entail, but I could take a guess at some of the players that might be leaving Ibrox very quickly. They'll be having no choice, but they might be on a contract at the end of the season. That's the only thing you can do. And Rangers need to pay them off or let them run. Simple as that. And there's quite a few of them, to the sound of it.
Aye, I mean, so you look at Alfie. I mean, honestly, if Rangers went back in with another offer to him, I wouldn't be increasing it. I'd be reducing it.
Aye, well, things have moved on, mate, and obviously he's got a gamble. I mean, if I was their agents, I would tell the two of them to sign the contracts, but I mean, obviously we don't know their personal circumstances. If people are moving for personal reasons, I get it, Smurf, you know. Understood.
Aye. Family and stuff, I get that.
Aye, I get it.
You know, it's. I mean, look at Roof. Roof's done his a turn. Did well in Europe for his. I think he was a top scorer last season. I think I'm right in saying that.
That was a year before, mate.
Year before. Aye, it was, wasn't it? Fucking hell. Aye. It was a year before, but he's done. Like, he's been injured for a year, hasn't he? But the thing is, when you think of these injuries, a lot of these guys, you know, they're Rangers are maybe picking up guys with a decent level of talent because they're injury prone, and you're only going to get X amount of games out of a season. And I think that served us well to a point. I think we need to outgrow that mentality now. We need to shift these guys on and free up the wages. Some of them are on good money, and you know, we can recycle these wages and get starters, and you know, just try to fill jerseys. I think we've got.
Again, the manager, I don't know, did you hear the manager's press conference after the game, the full press conference?
I heard about it, but I didn't ever get the full thing.
He touched on all that, GB, didn't he? That the fact is, they're looking at some players. I think he mentioned 2 or 3 potentially, but he's wanting starters and he's not wanting fillers. He mentioned that again, GB.
It's really refreshing to hear him for what he said. Even the last couple of weeks, he's said that he's no. If he's going to bring in a project, he'll let everybody know that this is a development player. They're not like a first team player, but he's looking now, which he probably knows himself. He's got a squad there that should be like bringing in starters rather than hopefuls, if you mean. And he doesn't want anybody. I think he's even said that he's not wanting to bring anybody in that's going to be on the medical table more often than not. So I think Michael Beale's really switched on with that. I think he knows the fans are not going to put up with it anymore as well. I think we're sick of getting players in and they're injured and stuff like that. And ultimately, you can't foresee what happens on a training pitch and stuff like that. But I think, like he says, he's wanting a solid group of players coming in who are fit and ready to challenge for a shirt now, because he wants competition in that squad.
Oh, can I call across? I think Big Stevie's on the phone. I think he's hung up. He's just said, "Who mentioned starters?" Carry on, Smith.
I think that you've got young lads in that academy now. You might be a world beater at 14, 15, 16, and then just you plateau or whatever. So no all of them are going to make it. But if there's 2 or 3 or 4 players there that are beginning to ripen, there comes a point that they've got to be in the squad, and you're going to give them 20 minutes here and 30 minutes there, and games where you're on top, you might put them in or whatever. So we need to get rid of, because of the thing in Europe where you've got to have so many Scottish players as well. We need to start getting rid of guys that are basically just jersey fillers for the squad, and if you've got like for like in the academy, give them the opportunity. They're not costing you anything. So, well, other than what it's cost to develop them over the years, but no, I think we need to start moving that side of things on. And I feel that Beale's the type of guy. He is a coach, and he's that's his background for 20 odd years, although he's a young man. I think if you're in that academy, I think you should be excited by the fact that he's your gaffer now, and take the opportunity when it comes, because he's the one guy that will give you the opportunity, I believe.
Was he your choice, Smith?
No, I've got to say no. But I couldn't sit here and lie. No, I would have much rather. If he was going to come back to club, I would have put him in head of the whole sort of academy side of things and whatever. But I never saw him as coming in as a Rangers manager. I wanted somebody with a bit more stature, but of course that costs more money, and they're going to want anybody that's got a more of a pedigree is going to want money to spend as well. So on balance, it is where we're at, and you can't fault the guy. He's, as you say, he's an A, and if he gets a win yesterday, he's an A minus so far. You're going to get a bounce when you get a new guy in, especially if it's a familiar face. But kind of grumble so far.
Okay. Who shone for you yesterday, mate? Going back to the football, who was your top 3 in the team yesterday?
I think Davis. I think he had a very, very good game. There's a lot of players that played well. I think Sakala's industry gets him in there, and I would think. I want to say he didn't last the full game through injury. I think Lundstrom really grew in and dominated that midfield. I think Lundstrom was a great game. But in saying that, that's my top 3. But Kamara caught my eye as well. I thought Kamara was good in there. I'd say Davis, Lundstrom, and
I think that's pretty fair.
And Sakala.
I think that's pretty fair. GB.
It's a fair assessment, Smurf. What I say is it's only going to be things are only going to be better, like you say, if there's got to be investment in the squad. I didn't expect Beale to come in and be able to get a tune out of the players, because I think most of them were already looking elsewhere. But it just shows you, he's came in, spoke to Kent. That was more the Ryan Kent than we knew yesterday. I think he had a fantastic game, involved in most of it. And that's all we're asking for out of him, is just to turn up with a performance. In fact, see, to be honest, the full team, the way they performed yesterday, that's what we should be expecting every week. It shouldn't be anything less than that, like that hard-working performance. Lundstrom's got to perform like that. Granted, he might be carrying an injury now, but like, see when he comes back into the squad fully fit and stuff like that, he's got to command that midfield like he did yesterday, every game.
Standards, mate. Standards.
Aye. I mean, the thing was...
No, you go,
what I was going to say was that, you know, when you think of Alfie's maybe no a natural finisher. Might sound daft given the amount of goals he scored for us, especially in Europe.
I agree.
I don't think he's a great finisher at all. But what he's good at is using his power and his strength and holding up play and people running off him. You know, Avibo was great for that, and so what he's good at, he didn't do very well yesterday. You know, he was misplacing passes and something happened in the first 5 minutes. But even as the game went on, I don't think he had a great game. And I think Čolak, you know, what's good about Alfie wasn't there. And so Čolak, had he played, I think he would have buried at least one of those chances. Had the same chances fallen to Čolak, I think he'd have scored. So I think my point is that going forward, we've got that 21-year-old lad coming into Colombia via Finland from nowhere, and raw, loads of potential as we thought, and I think he's run his race now. So, you know, without any bitterness or malice, you know, I think it's time to part and, you know, wish him well, you know, because you can never forget what he's done for us. But I'm just a bit scared with him, to be honest with you. I think it's time to move on.
I don't think you're alone in that thinking. I mean, I think that obviously Alfie brings some criticism on himself, easy criticism. GB, for instance, he's at Easter Road, yeah, you know, sending off when we're winning the game and we're down to 10 men, he makes us down to 9 men. You know, he's no help to himself at times. He's a guy we love, and I said a few weeks ago, we fell out of love, and we're sort of talking to him again, but we might never be in love with him again.
No, I'm not. And I mean, the goal against Motherwell when Bonner fires that cross in and he parks the header away, you're like, that's class. That's what you want to see week in, week out for your striker. But for me, I think both parties need to part way with him. I think he needs a fresh start to try and galvanise his career again. If he's got any hopes or aspirations to try and get in like a consistent Champions League squad. And then vice versa for us. I think we need a fresh faces in there, because I think fresh faces, as we've seen across the city, bring an unknownness against teams where when we play, that you might find that a new guy will have a different trick, or he'll be able to ghost into the box that other teams have not seen before. Just a different way of thinking, and it might improve other players if they come in as well. So I think that's just with the wages he's on and stuff like that, he's became a bit stale. The team's a bit stale. I think just all parties would be better just saying, look, all the best, and we'll move on. I mean, we'll try and reinvest that money in somebody else. I think it would be
the wages. You mean?
Aye,
the wages. Aye, the wages. Aye, definitely.
We've been joined by Bobby. Evening, Bobby.
Hi, Hobbs. I'm just saying I'm a bit happier midday night than what I was last week. I'm delighted with the result yesterday, right? Because we played against Celtic with 8 men.
Right, carry on.
We had 3 players on the park, 1 injured, One no trying a leg, and one no having enough energy or no interested. So we actually played against Celtic with 8 men. Now, years ago, Tavernier didn't want to tackle on his right leg, which is injured. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Tillman, as I spoke to you last week, is a waste of space.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very good football player, but he's not for Rangers and Celtic. Morelos, you can get rid of him. He's finished, mate. He's done with the Rangers support. We had a lot of love for Alfie, but he's finished. And I'm delighted with the result. And I heard the last caller saying, these scum with the banner, I find it ridiculous, but what, I tried to phone you up, was it Friday or something, where we put this mob. There's 700, too many of them in it. I put them up in the club deck, right out of the camera view, right? But the point is, I'm delighted with the result yesterday. Alfie is no use anymore. He's carrying about 2 tons of hard on his belly, for stars, right? But the 2 settles he missed, Alfie would have put them away last year or 2 years ago, right? Tillman, as I told you, I'd have put Arfield in. At least he's got a bit of spirit. Tillman's not interested. Tillman should have took that ball by that guy yesterday and put it in the net.
I think he's ran his race. We were just chatting about Morelos. We'll fill it off with Alfie, but
yes,
he missed 2 chances yesterday that he should have hit the target with. But he scored arguably a harder header on Wednesday night, Bridgeman, against Motherwell with the cross for Borna.
Yeah, absolutely. I just see that his eyes not quite, the coordination's not quite right there. When he gets it, he's every bit as good as he's been from a heading perspective. But I think a big chunk of his game where he is that bit slow. But you were informing me earlier on that he's actually carrying a hamstring problem. No problem.
But the manager said, yeah.
So we let some give him a bit of space for that. But I personally speaking, based on what I saw last night, I thought that Morelos had a lot to do in the second half of that game, and he did it very well. His unforgivable pass across, right to, but never even reached anywhere near our fullback, your intended target. Such a terrible pass it was. That's unforgivable, and he needs to stop these things. He's a far better player. A far better player than that. You misplace a pass, but no a 40-yard ball across the pitch, and it goes to the opposition player. Sorry, that's not right.
Oh,
other than that, I would keep Morelos. I would keep him.
Listen, your opinion on Tillman. I wouldn't have started Tillman, but in the middle part of the game, Tillman played as well as the rest of the team. GB?
Yeah, Ox, I mean, he has his moments. I think there was a few times he was caught with the ball at his feet as well. But overall, the boy's got something that he can. I think there was one point in the second half, there was about 4 guys around him, and he was able to move and get a pass away and away to Kent and stuff like that. So that he's got more pluses than negatives for me. But again, Beale's stated that he doesn't want a development players in. If Tillman's got to be one of these guys that we're signing and we're got to keep developing, then it's a bit of Russian roulette. I'd rather the money's invested in, let's say, starters. But to be fair, Tillman's scoring, he's assisting and stuff like that, so he is contributing to the team, and that's the kind of players that we need. We need people that are going to contribute to this team, create something out of nothing. I mean, that pass as well for Motherwell, I mean, the way he knocked it back into play and stuff like that for the header. Against Aberdeen. I mean, there's not many players in their squad that will be able to do that. Again, Scotty Arfield gets as the winner out of that. So there's a place for him, I think. It just depends on price, Ox, I think. See if we are approaching them.
We're not paying $5 million for him, are we?
No, I don't think we can afford to spend that kind of money on a guy that's a project, mate.
But what I will say, and I agree with Bobby, that yesterday, after when he just before he had that shot, I was saying, bring him on for Scotty Arfield. I wouldn't have started Arfield yesterday, Smurf, because when we started Arfield, he's disappeared in the games. When we brought him on, he's had an impact. I definitely brought him on yesterday. Smurf.
I think he proved that against Aberdeen. He's a guy that's going to come on and influence the game. Energy levels drop. He's getting older, and his game's all about running and get and getting in behind defences and bringing him on for the last half hour, 20 minutes. When somebody, a young lad like Tillman's won his race, I think that would have been the right substitute. Brings you on another point. The one criticism I would have of Michael Beale yesterday was I didn't agree with substitutions, if I'm being brutally honest.
What would you have done?
So maybe Wright coming on, maybe I could have lived with that, but I would have brought on Arfield and not Sands for Tillman.
I agree with that.
But the other thing I was going to say is about Tillman. I think early, it was within the first couple of games that Michael Beale did say that he's somebody he'd want to retain, or words to that effect. Kind of sort of paraphrasing, but there was two in the second half. I watched two things. One was the ball was lost, and he made a diagonal run, tracking a runner from the Celtic half all the way down to sort of more or less the left back slot, which was good to see. The industry was there, and he made a good sliding tackle as well at the edge of your 18-yard box. About the 70-minute mark, I think, which I didn't think he would have seen that type of player. So I was quite happy with that, and I think he's inventive. I think he's sort of after cuff kind of player. Somebody will do something a bit different. We don't have enough of that, so it'd be good to see what he would be like after a pre-season under Michael Beale. See if we could bring him on and maybe get him a bit fitter as well. So the jury's out for me. I wouldn't write him off.
And you come, Bobby?
Oh, I'm not criticising the boy, but the other panellists said, see the pass you put. I was talking about the game. Oh, there. I was talking about putting Tillman in against Celtic. I was just talking about playing him against Motherwell or Aberdeen.
Mm-hmm.
Celtic's not Tillman's game. It's too rough for him. He needs time to look down or try to look, and he doesn't get that. So why do he was showing up at Parkhead, and the first half yesterday he was all taking him off. Really, he done nothing in the first half, and in the second half he maybe started to come into the game, but in the first half he done nothing. Absolutely a passenger, and I'm saying get him off.
He wasn't alone in the first half an hour, because we weren't great in the first half an hour, were we? The whole team.
But I know that. But I'm saying, surely, if you're a Rangers man, you say that's not our boy's game. Put somebody in. Put a Jack in, or put. It's going to fling it about. Celtic used to have that blue brown. Does this fling it about? Wasn't the greatest player in the world, but fling it about. So, how can we not get something like that to say, right, you're not getting by me?
Playing devil's advocate, I think Michael Beale played that system with the attacking players and the guy that's going to make things happen, GB, to try and win the game, to score goals.
The way his form's been, Ox, I think that was the whole reason that Bobby, I take on board, mate. He's got to also show it against Celtic and stuff, but he is new to the old firms. He is a young boy, so he's learning, and this is what I'm saying. Beale's wanting starters in, and if he's got to keep the likes of Tillman or whatever, then he's going to have to let us know that Tillman's got to be there to develop, and hopefully he'll he'll eventually produce into the player that we are all expecting, especially what you're expecting and stuff like that. I mean, like I say, it is only his proper second Old Firm game. And for his second game, I did think he actually had an overall good game. He did contribute to the team, and he did at times, like Smurf says, good tackles. He had that chance against obviously Carter Vickers, and if it was for Vickers sliding along the grass, he would have probably buried that and got another goal. I mean, I just think he contributes more than what other players do, mate, so far in their squad, and I think that's why he got his start.
Understand your rationale about it being a fast physical game and the boys learning his trade, but I seen McBeal try today. I said yesterday in the pre-match show I wouldn't have started on Bobby, but ultimately the manager was a couple of minutes away from getting it right.
Yeah, well, yes, but don't forget, there was still 7 minutes left, and we've got to slow the game down. We've got to start, as you say, we've got 2 substitutes, yeah? Mm-hmm. There's 2 minutes to go. 2 substitutes. Bring one on, that's another 30 seconds. Bring another one on, that's another. Right, we don't care how we get the victory. Just as long as they don't beat us, right? Then we don't do it. So why are all these? Why we still got 2 substitutes and you don't use them?
I get. I mean, for me, and with the 5 subs, I would always use 4 of them, Smurf. And obviously, one, in case you get an injury, you don't want to be left with 10 men. But the rationale, I know, using the extra couple of subs, I don't understand it yesterday when it was obvious that some guys in a high-energy game, in the back of a lot of fixtures, had run that race.
I mean, what I would say is that the whole... the team didn't perform for the first half hour, and they didn't really perform, being honest, until Lundstrom really started stamping his authority in midfield. And as soon as he did that, players were getting closed down, Kamara improved, space was getting shut down, and Tillman came into a game then. I actually thought the boy had a good game for that half hour onwards. He's there to create. He's got to do his fair bit of legwork. He provides an aerial threat. So, I think if they're looking at guys to maybe shouldn't have been the team, I think there's other candidates there. He's arguably the best football player at the club. So, no, I would be wanting to keep him. In terms of starting, if all things being equal, if we had a completely fit squad, a midfield of Kamara, Jack, and Lundstrom is maybe something I would have went with. But none of them players, Kamara is reportedly needs an operation. Lundstrom's taking an injection to start the game. So are you going to start Jack in there, or are you going to hold him in reserve to take over should one of them 2 not be able to finish that game? Well, of course, that's what you're going to do. So things aren't as black and white as they always seem.
Listen, obviously, I don't disagree with some of Bobby's sentiment, but I thought the boy done already. I don't know who's having a debate in the background. Is that you, Bobby?
No, it's not me, mate.
All right.
No, I'll tell you, it's my kids, right? Sorry about that.
Here, can you send them here and I'll sort them out? Right. Carry on, Bobby.
You know who we're missing, Obs? We're missing Aribo. See something like Aribo? He'd have tore him apart yesterday. Aribo, we're missing Aribo. We've not got somebody like Aribo that can play up forward, can play. We're trying to build this wee guy, Tillman. And I like Tillman. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here criticising him. But I'm just saying that is not his game, Rangers and Celtic. He's too weak. He didn't like to get in for you've got that other mob. They fly in for tackles. We sit off them. We need somebody like Jack, Arfield. Okay, maybe not for 90 minutes, But to get into them and to say, I watched a programme the other day, Thompson tackling Keane or something, and letting them know what it was all about. That's what we need. No a sand dancer.
Yesterday, that's what John GB. That's what John Lundstrom done when he started winning tackles in the midfield to all get him turned.
Aye, Ox, like it says, by the way, he was getting a few tasty challenges into him yesterday, and he wasn't biting, and that's what I'm saying, he was getting up, and then he was winning the balls. I think him and Kamara actually had a good wee partnership yesterday, Ox. I didn't, as much as people have been criticising Kamara as well, like, I felt Lundstrom helped Kamara yesterday, got in good positions, won the ball where we needed it, when Celtic were trying to break as well, in that midfield area. I mean, I think that Maeda, apart from that goal, he was the quiet man. I mean, I think they're most of them midfield. McGregor, didn't really hear much from him yesterday. So, no, I mean, Lundstrom, he is pivotal. I think he is one of our starters. As long as he's fit, though, that's the thing. That guy, I think, like you says, we've seen yesterday where he lifted his start. He's clearly had a rib injury before he started, and then it obviously got worse when he got that tackle on him with the elbow into the side of his ribs, and then he's been carrying something when he's fit as well. So, the guy's doing the best he can, and this is what we need to remember. We're kind of stitching players together now, and we're needing these other injuries back.
Bridgman injuries have played a big part this season, haven't they? Maybe
Massive.
I've ever known, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, it's possibly the worst I've ever seen. The amount of injuries and to our quality players, and I think you'll find that there's obviously. There's something within Scottish football that's getting our players injured, whatever that may be, and unpunished for it too, unpunished. But I can I just go back to what you were talking about with the young man, Malik Tillman. I think he's a star in the making. I know he looks a wee bit ponderous at times. I don't know whether he means to be looking ponderous, but mate, he is a bit slow. You know, when he gets the ball and he creates a wee bit of space for himself, very difficult to get a ball off him. Very difficult.
It's a big unit, Bridget. It's a big unit.
Big fella, you know. But don't get me wrong, he's no frail. He'll take whatever punishment's going. The difficulty I've got with all of this and what we're saying, get tore in, is that when we get tore in, we get punished for it. When other teams get tore into us, nothing happens most of the time. And that's the truth.
Sorry, that is the truth. I mean, that lad that made his debut for him yesterday.
The tackle on Lundstrom, the yellow card all day long, out in the touchline.
There was two tackles on Lundstrom with a yellow card. There was two tackles, so there was. In fact, the one where he elbowed him wasn't the worst. There was one before that, and Lundstrom knocked the ball past him, and his leg was that high. He tried to hurdle it, but he couldn't, and he got pulled in. That was a yellow card, I actually thought the referee had a shocker, to be honest. No, it's true that, you know, it's all right saying, even in the time, it's like what Bobby was saying. Bobby was right in the sense that, you know, you think of Kevin Thompson smashing into players. Well, that was, 15 years ago, maybe? Something like that.
Yeah, it would have been roughly that, mate, aye.
Aye, right, 15 years ago. How much has the game changed in 15 years? That same tackle, knew you get sent off.
Aye, I know, I get what you're saying. I understand Bobby's point that people...
I totally get it as well.
People would argue that we need more physicality in there. I think we need some more pace in our team as well, which would help us. We've got pace in certain positions, but we need some pace. And the one that frustrated me yesterday was because he's obviously no fit. He's carrying. He's had the flu. He got potentially his nose broke yesterday. GB, Tav, mate, he ain't superhuman, and it's costing us. You know, he's costing us playing this when he's no fit. He's trying everything, but I don't know. Sometimes you've got to make big decisions and take players out.
Especially when, like you says, Ox, it was near the end of the game when you had the substitutions to make. I mean, Beale's always said that he's trying to he's trying to protect the players. How much has he protected Cholak and Roof? I mean, the last couple of weeks, he's not wanted to play them in case they break down. And you're like, well, you're running Tav into the ground. I mean, yesterday, like you say, he's carrying already, and then he gets basically nearly enough a broken nose. Again, that second goal of theirs, if maybe Divine's on, he's got all that energy about him, we would have just cut that ball out. Yeah, it's things like that I think our manager's got to learn for, though. I think the players have took a lot for it yesterday, but I think the manager as well. I think the manager's got a lot of answers, and I think all his coaching staff will take away maybe some mistakes. I think he knows himself, maybe he'll not admit it, but I think he knows himself. Some of the substitutions yesterday, I mean, Scott Wright did no impact in that game yesterday at all. No him at the boy, but I mean, if you're coming on and he's picking them to go on, you need to help the team. And I didn't see Scott Wright help us once. And that's what you're talking about, Oxway, making the right substitutions. I would have rather the Scott Wright substitution be Tav off, Divine on, and then that way we're kind of shoring it up a wee bit better than what we did. But again, that's just my opinion. It sounds as though I'm a Scott Wright basher, but it's just the way it is. I think if you're bringing on players off the bench, they've got to improve the team, help the team. And I just don't think we've got that now. I
think sometimes we're not being fair on Tav, mate, if I'm being honest. I think that is, he's got himself in a situation where he's playing, he's trying to do what he can't do because he doesn't look fit. You know, and it's this has been most of the season. I'm trying to be fair on the guy. Bobby?
I'm trying to be fair on the guy as well. Is that not the same guy that travelled himself up to Aberdeen and showed what he was all about?
Aye.
Right. And he is carrying an injury, and it's not his fault. He wants to play. It's not his fault. Okay, he gets caught. He's not running up and doing the wings now. But it's not his fault. And the last year panelist said, well, Cholak and Roos in the squad, and Tavernier's carrying injury, and this and that. What I'm saying, mate, is they're running the guy into the ground. He was the guy that travelled himself up to Aberdeen to play in a game. Now, I'm not slagging Tavernier. I know he's not fit. Somebody must be able to get in for him. And the other one with your panellist said the substitute, see when they bring on Wright, I say, oh no, here we go. And it's no, he's no Rangers class. It's simple as that. He's not Rangers class.
See, in 20 years' time, when people are trying to name the Seville team, Scott Wright's the one they'll struggle with.
Of course they will. You name a team last week, and if he was playing last week, they would still struggle. Who came on? I don't know. Don't even. Oh, is that guy who came from Aberdeen? I don't know what he does for us. They'll bring him on substitute, and even if I won a 3-0, he still does nothing, mate. You're saying, what are you bringing this guy on for? There must be somebody. Wait, there's another point. Where was Lowry yesterday?
Well, after the performance against Motherwell, mate, where he should have been, no in the squad.
Oh, on the subs bench, maybe. Right, no. Where was he yesterday?
No in the squad. Yeah.
Nope.
No.
Again.
No. Yeah. I think the manager got it right, GB.
Aye, Ox. I mean, yeah. Again, what I'm saying is you're putting people into the squad. Folk are shouting for them. I think I honestly think the manager made a point the other night putting them in to say, right, well, there you go, there's your chance, and show the Rangers fans that I'm doing what you're kind of asking for. And the boys got talent, no doubt about it. But there's just moments in the game he's just no in it, and he's just not there yet. I think he's miles away from being our first team starter. I think he's still. I think he's even still sitting, getting the B team promotion status. To be honest, I just don't think he's got to steal a shirt, because as soon as you get Hadji, Lawrence, and Vidvan and all the rest of it back, I just don't think Lowry gets near that. I think you'll have all the experience, and if the manager's thinking about bringing in 3 players into that squad and all, I mean, Lowry's Lowry's really got to be showing something soon enough if he's really want to be in that squad.
He's got ability, but it's only my opinion, Smurf. But I think against Motherwell, he looked like a boy playing man's football at times. He's definitely got ability. You could see it the way a couple of times he grabbed past it, but he didn't look ready.
He's not got the physique. I don't think he's got the engine. And there's a lot of different ingredients that makes a Rangers player, and he's got some of them, and he's not got all of them. When you look at these young boys, Charlie McCann, the boy Lowry, the boy Devine, and the boy King, all at their age group and at this stage in their development, they're promising. But it's a cock or a hen whether they make it for Rangers or no. I mean, many of them might make it. So you know, I'm not convinced the boy King's a centre half for a start. And for me, Charlie McCann is, you know, physically the most developed, I think, him and Lowry, you know, in midfield, and is the more likely of the two. I think Lowry's miles away from it, to be honest with you. I mean,
you obviously think different, Bobby.
No, I was just wondering, just for the last 5 minutes, to bring on and maybe just run about, even if you don't touch the ball, just tell me you're there.
They can let me do that.
Aye, you can let me do that as well. I do that. But that's not the point. The point is, when you bring on Scott, right, you're going to get nothing off him. Really nothing. Right? So you're doing a runner, man. You've got he's on the right wing with Tavernier. Tavernier's injured. And you're saying, what's going on here? Because you'll not run back.
That's a good point. There's a lot of guys playing. They look industrious and they look busy. They're hiding really. And it's, you know, when you look at that pass to Jota, you know, at that stage in the game, you know, Wright should have been back doubling up, and he was nowhere.
Exactly.
So I do agree that he was an empty jersey, but you know, the boy Tillman, in my opinion, in terms of development, is multiples of Lowry.
There's similarities, mate. They're both.
But physically, I'm talking about. You know, he provides an aerial threat. He's you know, he's a big, powerful boy. He's hard to shove off the ball. Where Lowry's, you know, he's what, Ningstone, and he, you know, what I mean, so you could argue Ian Durant is Ningstone, but there's
different.
They're different gravy. They shouldn't be mentioned in the same breath.
Also, Lowry's 6 foot, mate.
Aye,
surprising, isn't it? He's 6 foot.
Aye, it is.
You know. Anyway, gentlemen. Thanks for the call, Bobby. We've reached that time of the evening.
No problem, mate. Pleasure, mate.
Good to speak to you, Bobby.
Right, mate.
Smurf, thanks a lot, mate. Last word for yourself, mate.
I just like to wish everybody all the very best in the coming year, and onwards and upwards for the Rangers. I think we've got a lot to be optimistic about, and so just keep it going. Okay, good night, everybody.
Cheers, mate. GB.
Oh, thanks to you and Bridge the night, Ox, for having his own. I just want to echo like what Smurf said there. Just I hope yesterday gave a wee bit of fire in the belly back to the Rangers support, and they can actually see that their new manager is starting to build a team there that can challenge, hopefully, whether it's this season or next season, for a title. Like I said, it's all still to play for. It's not over till the fat lady sings, as I say.
Bridge?
Yeah, I think thanks very much for having us. A marvellous show. Certainly enjoyed it. And to yourself there, Oxtail and JB, and of course the techie boys in the background. Absolutely tremendous show. Great discussions. And I thought the opening discussion between yourself and him, excellent. Although I gave you the result, it could be, after what I've heard tonight, it could be a slight change there. But no, I'll give it to you. And he was guilty.
Guilty.
Right. Can I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, and particularly Rangers fans on here on Rangers Radio, every single one is, we must keep it going for the Rangers, because that's all that matters. Keep it going.
Thanks to GB. Enjoyed it. Good laugh. Thank Bridgeman. And of course, Alex, Smurf and Bobby for taking the time to phone us. Fox and Old School Boy for doing the technicals, and everybody for listening. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10 talking about all things Rangers. Take it away, Old School Boy.